The JOVA Podcast.
Slowly but surely, we should really allow this passage to happen. We allow such things to happen. Like you are saying, when we live here, we go and reflect.
That's true.
We see how we can.
That's true.
Do things. So that really happened as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So hopefully, man, that I guess I look at it as a seed. It's a seed that was planted, and however long it will take to germinate. Somehow, some way, I had no knowledge of all these things. I had no knowledge of things like that. But I also was a person that, like you're saying, we've had a chat that's alluding to that. I've always been saying that when I meet the guys. With the guys from Beyond Vocal, we're always talking about the same things as well. To say, no, gents, man, we must have something. We must chill, we must do this, But I think it must just be something that we actually just do.
Yeah.
We just and we just do it with no expectations, with no kind of order of anything.
Any hidden agendas,
No hidden agendas. It's just let's come together and let's do what we need to do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the real things. Let's talk about the real struggles that all of us are going through. And you find that in a space like that, you may have a solution to a problem I'm, struggling with, and I may have a solution with the problem that you have. And imagine if, we can have that kind of network, and we know how we can work together within that space and continue to build each other up. Then we can get to a point where we can beef with each other for real. You know what I'm saying? At least there'll be something to beef for. But let's first create the thing, you know what I'm saying? And I was actually going to say that, you're like, well, what do you think it is about composer, arrangers, and ego? Because it's a real thing. I was having a chat with Namdi. From the States. He sings bass now for Naturally 7.
Okay.
Composer as well, an arranger, and we're talking about the same thing, and we're just talking about stories. He's also a guy who's got a lot of inside stories about groups in the States. About Seventh Element and a lot of the groups. He was a guy that used to study and follow a cappella groups in America. So he's got a lot of inside stories. So we're just talking about that, and when we're just reflecting on those stories, it's like it's so crazy that we're so far apart, but the Black Seventh Adventist community is like the same in the States and here. It's the same, especially when it comes to a cappella music and all of that. Because like it is in the States, in all honesty, a lot of the vocal groups that would be looked at as a premium in the industry have roots, from the Seventh Adventist Church. A lot of the singers that go on to become stars, and they're from that kind of background. Same thing in
even
the
Prince.
He's not
Prince, yeah. I remember there was a time I was to interject. I shared something about him. I just thought about him, and I listened to his music. I'm like, this guy.
Yeah.
He was quite. even Miles Davis loved him to bits.
Yeah.
I think they did a few things, but they were never really out in the public. But there was a time I was told by Mkali. Mkali is one of my mentors. Mkali Kwapeng. He's now in Lusaka. He's teaching there at university, an SDA university. He says one day Prince is performing. I think it was Friday or Saturday. Sorry, for not saying Sabbath.
It's okay.
It's okay. So he's performing there, and then he asks, "Who are Methodists here? Who are Presbyterian?" He asks us, and then who are Seventh Adventists? They raise their hands.
Yeah.
Then he says, "You're not supposed to be here."
Yeah.
Because it's it's the holy hour.
It's the holy hours now.
So I really found that very. he really kept to that thing.
That is.
You're right. Many of them come from.
El Jarreau as well.
El Jarreau as well. Yeah. Yeah.
He's from Oakwood.
He went to Oakwood. Yeah, these guys, man. Little Richard. I don't know if you know him. One of the foremost, I think one of the foremost proponents of rock and roll.
Okay.
Little Richard was a pianist and singer.
Okay.
He was also, from the, So I think Marvin Gaye, not really Adventist, but his church was really practicing the same things as SDA. So there are many, many others, of course.
Sure.
You are right. I remember also, talking about stories, there's some that we went through as Africa Pearl, and I remember Take 6 went through something similar when I think they were performing somewhere, when they were starting now, after the first album, they were now getting around, and I think they were in London.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but it was somewhere in the UK, and they were singing, and then people had their record. Yeah. The vinyl of the first record. Yeah. I don't know who was playing that record backwards. Yeah. Playing that song, going Milky Way. Yeah. When you play backwards, it says the devil is pure. Imagine the devil and purity. So apparently, I think it was the bass singer was talking about that. He could see in the audience that people are on the side, they're frowning. Yeah. The other ones are happy, and they were very much mixed up, And fast forward to as Africa Pearl, I remember we went to Durban. Yeah. Many things happened to us. Then we were performing there.
You guys are mad. You guys were martyrs.
Yeah, we went through a lot. Singing Christmas carols, in fact. In Durban, and it made me think about Durban, and I understood even now, even on the pop side, it's a different place. Anyway, we performed at I think DUT or whatever, Howard College, I think. Then I think we're singing Christmas carols, and most of them are in the Adventist team.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Yes,
Joy to the world. All
yes, that's true.
We had arranged them.
Yes.
And when we were singing, people were leaving. Imagine, I don't know if you guys have gone through a process where you are performance where you are performing. People are leaving.
It's like what's
one
going
by
on
one.
now?
How?
Like what's going on?
And then about 15 remained. The whole auditorium had left. So to me, it was like, so we came for these 15 people. And then we gave them a hell of a show. So, I remember in a Valtech, congregational thing, students are there. We were supposed to sing, and we got called to stage, and we were waiting there. I think we waited there for 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Groups kept on coming.
Hypo.
And when we sang, people were waiting, Yeah. So the people who were responsible for the program knew us, and they knew what we are doing, and they were not happy with us coming.
Okay.
So but we stuck it out still. And I'm happy we did it. And I think we were one of the first bands to have a congregation participate.
Yeah.
That thing.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was unheard of. But it was nice to do. And then I know afterwards, I started seeing that happening. Yeah, so
that's true.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about that when we talk about Africa.
Yeah.
But before you go there, I want us to maybe talk about some of the work that you've been involved in, just like some of your commission work.
Okay.
Some of the stuff that I saw not too long ago with the Music Indaba.
Oh yeah, that was in Grahamstown, now Makanda.
Yeah. So what's your involvement with that specifically?
Yeah, the Music Indaba was Dr. Michael Blake's brainchild. Okay. A professor who grew up here and then went to the UK. Okay. Studied there and then came to study at the VETS, I think, and then started teaching around Rhodes. Okay. So he had this concept of composers, young up-and-coming composers in the classical, well, not classic, but just generally composers. Okay. So I remember that I was studying music at Dobsonville College, the then Manu Pelmama College in Dobsonville, that had people like Sylvester Mazinyane, jazz pianist, Moses Kumaro, the late alto saxophonist. I think your alto, the guy you sing with, is Squara.
Squara, yeah.
You must know him.
Yes.
Or his music at least.
Yeah.
So I used to study there with them. Moses was just leaving. So Mkale came and told me about this project in Grahamstown, blah, blah, blah. And I went and enrolled. And I was taken and I started participating from 2004.
Okay.
Right up until 2007.
Okay.
It was under the Grahamstown Arts Festival. It was just one of the things that were happening there. There's theatre, there's everything.
Yeah.
So it was a workshop where we showcased our new works.
Okay.
During that span of time, I wrote compositions for the now defunct Sontonga Quartet.
Okay.
Yeah, piano, string quartet.
String quartet. Right.
Yeah, and some visiting groups from the UK.
Okay.
From Sweden.
Oh, the vocal groups.
No, we the saxophone, the Stockholm saxophone quartet.
Okay.
Sontonga Quartet is a local string quartet. Is a local string quartet.
Okay.
And other piano quartets from the UK.
Okay.
So you had to write music on the spot, like today.
Yeah.
Tonight it's showtime.
Showtime.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I remember I had Humuzo was there on one of them in Ayanda Patel. So, but I stayed. Okay. Because every year around June, July, I would go there. So it was just a workshop, a space where you had to really be creative, think out of the box. You know, write for. I remember I wrote for a Liberian singer, opera singer, who's now a Liberian American singer and an American pianist, Don Padmore and Daryl Hollister, the accompanist. I wrote songs for them for that workshop. So those are some of the people I wrote songs for the workshop.
Okay.
Over the years.
Okay.
So every year we'd have different musicians coming to try out the new songs.
Okay.
And we had a person like the jazz pianist Paul Henma.
Okay.
Yeah, who stays in Johannesburg. He was one of the most. I don't know. I mean, when his composition was coming. All the musicians sit down because this song is difficult. Yeah. But in our songs, it's like they just read. Out. And then come Paul Hemmer's song. They open the scores and they check. Okay, part 25. But I did learn a lot from that space. Yeah. So it was all about just honing your skills as a composer, and I did. And I remember we had a Ugandan professor who was our mentor there, and I saw a lot of things there. I mean, I never seen. I mean, when I see it now, I understand. There's a thing called a prepared piano. Okay. Where you open the back of the piano, you put stuff on the hammers. Okay. And just to trick. The string. So it gives you a different thing. Okay. I mean, I started seeing that thing there in the early 2000s, you know. And when I see it, I think there's a pianist who did it also, a local pianist, Bokani Daya. There's one of his, from his album, World Music, he's got a song where he's treated the piano. So I knew, this is what it means. That's what they did. Yeah, so I learned a lot from that thing. That is crazy. Yeah, Mkale did participate, but yeah.
That is wild, man. Yeah. And then with some of the collaborations that you guys, that not only with the group, obviously, but that we'll get to that, but that I know you've been involved in personally. I know sometimes you travel with Uvuyo as well. Tell me about some of those adventures. Yeah, those people that you would be working with over there.
Yeah, before that one, I think you mentioned something about being commissioned. I think you mentioned a commission.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a time when I got commissioned to write original pieces for a London group, a cappella group, that covers the old classical eras of the 1400s. Okay. But vocally. Okay. The group is called Ifa Jolini. Yeah, Ifa Jolini. It's spearheaded by a guy called Robert Hollingworth.
All right. They're still
working. They're still based in the UK and all over Europe.
All right.
Yeah. So I did commissions, and they sang those commissions. They sang those commissions in the Kennedy Center.
Okay. Yeah, wow.
Wow. Yeah, that was crazy. But Paul Hemmer did help me to just so they can read properly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But this is like 1400 classic music.
Yeah, they mostly focus on that. Okay. The group as a group.
Oh, as a group. But then what kind of arrangements did you?
There's a song called that I wrote for them is Rihumani. Africa Fair does that song. Okay. As well. Okay. And there's another song that I did for the Stasa Choral that I toured with in the UK in 2006. The song is called Bambe Telemtini. It's a gospel song about the nailing
Okay.
of Jesus Christ on the cross.
Okay. Okay.
Why not even play?
You know, because I know the song. My brother, my cousin brother.
Which song is it?
He used to sing with Istasa Karelu.
Oh.
Yes, Ukumete.
Serious?
Yeah,
Is that your uncle?
No, it's my brother. It's my cousin.
Ubabu Kumete?
Yes.
The clown?
Yes.
You're kidding.
I'm telling
No,
you.
you're kidding.
Is my father's older brothers.
There's never a dull moment. Trust me, there's never a dull moment when he's there. That guy is crazy. He is crazy.
Yeah.
So we did Bambetele. He was there in the UK. Yeah, and then I think fast forward to what I did with Vuyo in Belgium.
But wait, let's go back. Now that we've spoken about that, it's ignited some other stuff that I thought about. You know, there has been this. You guys do the song. It's always stuck with me. The Hold On. I think it was.
Hold on, yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And there's this one performance. I don't know where it was exactly, but I remember my dad captured it on video. My dad used to like taking videos of groups and whatnot, so still have a lot of that.
Okay.
And also Emmanuel, because they also used to. My dad used to sing with. I can't remember what the group was called.
Local one.
But there were just like a couples group from Joburg at the time, but also the Johannesburg Central Choir as well was starting to sing around and all of that, and he was the conductor of that. So there's this one place I think you guys were performing at. I can't remember, but you all were wearing. I think it must have been black, but a masutu. But what I remember was red ties. These red ties that you were wearing, and they were so iconic. And that was one of my earliest memories of a cappella that sounded like that.
Oh, seriously?
I'm telling you. And this is like I'm probably 3 or 4 years old watching these videos. My dad would play them all the time, maybe on Friday evening on all of that. And it's from moments like that where you hear things like that, where you have like a 4-part backing with the lead, with that kind of soulful groove and those kind of ideas. Yes. That kind of idea. For you guys to even get to a point where y'all are touring in the UK. How does that happen?
Hey man, you mean how do you get like the whole experience of the UK?
Yeah. And just the general maybe just give us just a brief background on watching the Stasa Chorale.
Oh yeah, Stasa is quite I think Stasa was formed in the 80s. I think, of course, from the Stasa camps.
Yeah.
They used to. I think Mukale is the good person to tell the story. Yeah. But I know in the 80s they started forming this group, Machida, just doing things. And over the years, Mukale, I think they had a guy called one of the most beautiful composers. I think in the church of in the SDA church, Gab Mojapilo.
Okay.
Who was tragically lost his life via the gun in just around the early 90s. Okay. I think his daughter is the one who's singing with Chosen.
Okay.
There's a lady there. I don't know her name. Okay. Anyway, so Mkale had this thing. I think her name is Mujapiro, but they're related with the
Tabiso.
Kebi and
Tabiso. No, the oldest.
Yeah, there's another one. There's a lady. I buy 3.
I think I'm now.
Yeah, I forget the names, but I know Kebi is the sister to.
Yeah.
Who's that? The soprano singer? What's her name?
Pales.
Palesa is the sister to the Ulonban, the arranger, from Chisi Tabi. So yeah, they've got a cousin.
Okay.
That lady.
Yes, Okanyago.
Yeah, I think her father is Kiabu Mujapilo.
Yeah.
The late.
Yeah.
So they had such a person in their midst, way before I came in.
Okay.
Even them, they went through a lot of stuff in church.
Okay.
When they were starting to introduce this Skatamea thing.
Yes.
A lot of people, I mean, we have 87 now.
Yeah.
But I would say they had it easy.
Yes.
Because of what came before.
Yeah.
Umkale, what they went through, Stasa in question. So, Mkale, over the years, I mean, the composer was Mkale, of course, Kwaping, Geb Mujapilo, Pastor boys make it.
Okay, yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
I mean, do you know that there's a song called Ekupheleni Sotokoza? Ekupheleni Sotokoza.
Yeah.
That arrangement is him. And many other. Yeah, that's his arrangement. Siyoto. That's his song. Anyway, so
and so many groups.
Yeah, that's what really caused that chorale to be unique. And then there's a composer, a Zulu composer from KZN called Pega Ngaye Dlamini.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He brought that Skatamia element
all right.
in the band. And and then later Vusi Nhlapo of course was there.
Yes.
And then I came quite late.
Okay.
And then we did things, and Mkale, because Mkale is my mentor, I found my way in there. So what really made Stasa to be special is because of these different composers.
Yeah.
I mean, where have you ever heard of a group that has got something like 6 people who can arrange music?
Yes.
Even Mr. Mjapilu, the brother to the late.
Yes.
The father to Balisa and
Tabiso.
very beautiful second tenor. I don't know if he wrote anything, you know, but he was there as well. So it was a very beautiful melting pot. And I remember Mkale telling me that in the early years, when they started introducing this music, they were frowned upon in the church. Like, what are you doing? What are you, what? You know, so church took time to get used to that thing. And then Ifajolini, that UK group, came in South Africa looking for Mambazo, something like Mambazo. And then they didn't find Mambazo, and then they found Stasa Chorale back in the 90s. And then they had a few collaborations, and then they released an album called, you must look for it, Simunye.
Okay.
A guy like you has to get that CD. Yeah, or I can try to arrange for you to get it.
Please.
Yeah, you know?
Please.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. Yeah, it's a mixture of Ifajolini and Stasa Chorale.
Oh man.
Beautiful compositions, classical and Katamia. Yeah, all those nice things.
Crazy.
Yes, very beautiful. So because Ifajolini had opportunities, of course, of touring, then they pulled them along. They did Bermuda. They did the UK before I came in, and I think a few others. And then when I came in, we did UK and Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, and when they did Bermuda, they took Khumuzo.
Okay.
Mushuki. Why do I keep forgetting?
Please, my doctor.
Dr. Khumuzo Mushuki. He's going to kill me. So they took him to Bermuda, you know, and because there's a song that he wrote, he arranged for Stasa Chorale. Beautiful Skatamia song called Lihlimpela. Lihlimpela, Likonizwe, Lihlimpela.
Okay.
That song. Khumuzo did a very beautiful job there.
Okay.
It's like straight on Skatamia. The harmonies, that gap, you know. I mean, Skatamia is not just Skatamia.
Yeah.
It's not just Skatamia. There's an approach to it.
Yeah, there is a certain approach to it.
They call alto Alita. Don't laugh, man, please. Yeah, I heard from Tembam Keys, the jazz pianist. Yeah. But so that's how Stasa got to tour.
Okay.
You know, that's the only reason why they were able to tour.
That is
wow. Yeah, and it's a very beautiful. I mean, I learned a lot from there. I mean, Babu Kumete. Ah man, that guys. When I think about him, I want to laugh. There's a time when you walk in front of him, he'll kick you, and then you trip a bit. He was full of tricks, you know. I miss him, man. I miss him. Yeah, I think we must talk afterwards.
Yeah. No,
I'd love to have his numbers.
Okay, no. Do that.
Yeah, so that's how we
that's
got
a crazy story. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I went there because of a song called Bambetele Mthini, the one I did for Stasa.
Yes.
And I remember there was some politics there because the guys didn't understand. I mean, I know this podcast has to have, you know,
some juicy stuff.
If you didn't know, now you know. How I went to the UK. Mkale made sure it happened. Ticket, everything. And then when I arrived there, then, you know, there was some funny stuff. Then Mkale asked me to step aside. Imagine we're in a hotel. The guys don't understand why I'm here. You know. Mkale, man, sorry, man. You know, I mean, you know. And then I had to leave the room, and then they discussed so that he can explain himself.
Yeah.
Because Mkale was responsible for,
yes,
you know, many things there.
Yeah.
And then, but things were okay afterwards because they just wanted to know
what's going on.
Imagine being in West London all the way, and then you are there, and then you're told to.
You must just wait.
Yeah, at the hotel. So busy, man.
You don't know if they're organizing a ticket bank,
or or maybe for you to sit down when they perform. I don't know. Even to this day, coming to think of it, even to this day, I don't know what they were talking about, like at full length, because Mugale didn't divulge anything. But we were okay. The tour was nice. I remember in the UK, we were there for some time.
I remember you. I think you once wrote about the story on
I did.
Facebook.
Yeah, I did.
One part that caught my attention was that you guys didn't need visas to go to the UK at the time.
Yes, South Africa didn't need. Yeah, you just
That's wild. That was what
2006.
6.
Yeah, and then I think a few years after, the UK was like, no more. No more. There was a time.
Who became president after?
We should check. Hey, we should check that one. So we were there. I mean, I remember there was a time, I won't mention the brand chicken. I don't know if I should. South African brand. We were in the middle of the tour, and then we saw the name of the brand. We just went crazy. All of us just unanimously ran to that chicken shop, and then we ordered. We said we had time for a sound check. Time. I think it was Manchester. I don't remember. And then we sat and we ordered. It was. I mean, the chicken place. So that was one of them. And I remember I didn't know anything about the UK. And there's we're not a cousin, but our surnames are the same. Nhlapo. Her sister is Lindu Nhlapo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the sister.
All right.
They were in the UK at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember we were talking, and then she was like, "Come through." I remember leaving the West London hotel, Ramada Hotel, getting to train, and she gave me directions. There were no WhatsApps then.
Yeah.
I don't remember but I took the whole day to get there. The place is called Nunhead.
Yeah.
But then now when I check on Google, it's only an hour to get there. Yeah, I arrived at 7. It was summer. I mean, that was the first time I experienced summer where the sun sets at 10. It was crazy. But I mean, I sat there with her for an hour and then I left. I didn't really sit.
Yeah,
it was like
you've been traveling the whole time.
To go and it was one off day. That was the only off day.
Yeah.
And then I had to go back. Luckily, she took me to the bus. Then I was able, but it was a nice experience.
So they, and I think rounding that topic up, there was like performances that were not necessarily at church, right? What places?
Or it was we're touring most of the UK, Norwich, Manchester, a lot of places. So it was sponsored by Lufthansa.
Okay.
It was a Lufthansa classical festival.
Okay.
Summer festival. So Lufthansa was actually sponsoring the thing, and we just had to hop onto the bus every night, every morning, go to Brighton, come back, every night. And we had no time to chill, like talk to the people. I remember there was this city we went to, Brighton. Ooh, crazy city. Where I really wish that we could have,
just stayed a bit more.
I mean, I remember when we arrived there, the music director of IFA Jolini says, there's a new beach this side. Brighton, crazy place, man. You see people, earrings, and walking. And the summer is a crazy time.
It's a crazy time. Yeah.
So we went through like the theaters, performed in many beautiful venues. Beautiful venues, standing ovation. I mean, it was new acts mostly.
Yeah.
I think we had something like 4 new acts that we had not done with the group together. Okay. But we were rehearsing in silos, the South Africans and as the UK
then when
people,
you met up
and then we had to rehearse a bit
together. And then
it was beautiful, man.
That's wild.
It was. I don't think I'll forget that tour ever.
Sure.
It was a beautiful one.
And for me, what's beautiful about that also is that I feel like that maybe was sort of that seed that was sown in you in terms of, once you get a taste of that life, of being on the road, being in Europe, and there's nothing that beats that feeling.
Man.
There's nothing
beats that feeling.
There's nothing that beats.
I mean, that's of experiencing city after city. Going. I mean, with Africa Pella, we did with. I remember with Didi, we started touring with Didi, and of course in Belgium with the other side of my music. I mean, touring is. I mean, traveling is a gift. I always say. Not everyone gets to experience it.
That's true. That's true.
So if you do get to travel, embrace it. Just get out there.
The things that you see, the people you meet, the things that you learn. Just
other cultures. I mean, I remember when I was in the UK, I started seeing in the train stations and in the tube train, whatever, places, shops. There were a lot of Asian people there selling. It didn't make sense to me. And then years later, I see this thing happening here, like Somalians owning shops.
Yes.
But my point is that you get to learn. You get to learn that when it happens to you, you know where the world is. So there were many shops in the train stations of even taxis like Uber, but before, but like cabs. They were controlled by foreign nationals of the UK. And that's why I got to learn. But it was frustrating. It was not frustrating. It was a bit like, where are the UK people? Where are they selling? And then when it came here,
then now you understand.
I was like, so this is how the world operates, basically.
This is where we are.
That's how you learn.
That's true.
And then people who are not well traveled will have a problem with such things. But, so it's another topic, of course. But it made me think.
That's true. That's true. And it just opens your mind to how different systems are.
The JOVA Podcast.